What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Cody Hansel, and thank you for coming to watch the Season 2 review of Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeast, because there's a lot to talk about. I mean, not so much with the season itself. The season itself is actually fairly average, but the overall topic around it is pretty full. And I might make a separate video going even deeper on that. I don't know. We'll see. But first, let's talk about what I disliked from Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeast Season 2. There's not a whole lot, honestly, but one would definitely have to be the overall course of the season. Season 2 goes a little bit slower, generally, than Season 1 did. Not in the sense of, like, the action and the adventure. That all still moves at a pretty good pace. But it doesn't seem like they do as much in Season 2. Season 2 is really focused on Kipo post-Season 1, learning more about the history of some of the characters, as well as how to control her powers. And that was handled in this season at kind of a snail's pace. Not terribly so, but there's a lot of time spent to it where there's a lot of goofing off at one time, seeing Scarlemagne do something, and we don't have to be told again that Scarlemagne is evil, right? We know. We've seen what he's done, and his actions throughout the entirety of Season 2 all sell the fact that he's a bad person. It felt like a lot of what was happening was set up for jokes, like for just small spoilery example, the destruction of Ratland. All it really told us was that he was willing to take whatever he wanted, which he was already doing. He was taking whatever he wanted. He took all sorts of stuff from everybody. And beyond that, we also saw that he was going to punish other mutes if they worked with humans, which we also already knew. He had already been punishing mutes that were working with the humans. And we get to see nothing much really changed there. Later on in the season, he straight up says, again, I'm going to punish the people who don't agree with me. And that's kind of rough. It didn't really grab me as much. I had a conversation with, what's their name? Sam at SC1Sam on Twitter said that each season of Kipo seemed like it could have been tighter. I can't remember the exact tweet, and it's going to take me a minute to dig through and find it. I'll put it up on screen when I do. And I didn't feel so much that in Season 1, although I can see where they're coming from. But Season 2, definitely. There was a lot of times in Season 2, specifically in the episode Fun Gus Part 1 and Part 2, where it seemed like too much goofing off, right? There was too much time dedicated to doing one thing and not telling the actual story or moving the story forward. It was goofy stuff, not so much focusing on the main plot. And that's not bad. You know, it's always good to have a B plot in your stories, something that you can, you know, use to entertain yourself and derive off the main point in case you need to break things up or just keep the story going or build intrigue because you have this whole secondary plot that's worth following. But they went a little bit too deep into like a C plot with like the other kids that they rescued. And that made a lot of the episodes feel like they could have been a little bit shorter, all the way to the point where Season 2 probably could have been a whole episode shorter. I don't think Fun Gus had to be a two-parter. It probably could have gotten away with being a one-part, where they get there, they find the book, and the entire episode is just about the book. Fun Gus is a problem in the beginning, maybe has a little institute in the middle, and then at the very end he's a problem, and they escape it. I don't feel like they had to put so much emphasis on the goofy Fun Gus stuff. I think he would have been better just like a one-off episode thing. But regardless, they do end up playing around with that for a little bit. And then to the animation. The animation in Kipo Season 2 is not on the same level as the animation in Season 1. Initially, I'd watched through it and I didn't notice it too much. But a friend of mine, Nick Paris, said, I didn't have the eye for it. Which, first and foremost, Nick, if you're watching this video, I hope you are. Hey, how about you don't call me out like that? Because I'm going to snap back. You know what? I'm going to fire back. I'm going to see if maybe I do have the eye. And you want to know something? You're right. The animation in Season 2 wasn't as good as the animation in Season 1. It wasn't nearly as strong. In a lot of minor ways is whenever I really noticed it. Some of the slower scenes definitely had less frames to it. I kind of would have expected something a little bit bigger out of the first Hearts on Fire karaoke scene. And then the second time with Hearts on Fire, it felt like they were really limiting the animation. The Hearts on Fire happening in the episode, Hearts on Fire being the second time, and then the first time happening on another episode. I just felt like it should have been a little bit bigger. And then a lot of the fight scenes also felt more limited. They had a lot of fun with the fight scenes in season 1, especially against Jamak, against Scarlemagne's goons in the second burrow. There was a lot of times where they had a lot of fun with the fights and the animations. There was a lot of movement and action and different things there, and everything felt much smaller and more limited in season 2. And that comes a bit into the problem that we don't know if there's going to be a season 3. Now, you can go online and look up where everyone's like, oh, well, like 6 months between season 1 and season 2. We can assume another 6 months between 2 and 3. So it might come out in December, assuming, you know, the virus doesn't slow everything down. And yeah, that's possibly true. We have no confirmation. Usually by now, we would know if season 3 has at least been confirmed, but we don't have that right now. And after seeing how season 2 kind of dropped in quality a little bit, it's concerning as to whether or not it'll actually come into fruition where season 3 is going to actually exist, which would be unfortunate because season 2 ends on such a big cliffhanger. Now, the things I do like about season 2 of Kipo, no. Now, things I do like about season 2 of Kipo. 1, they expand on the plot, which earlier might have sounded like I was dissing the fact that they did that. No, absolutely not. They make the plot and the scope a little bit bigger. We learn some history about Scarlemagne and Leo, which was teased at the end of the first season. We learn more about who Kipo is and her powers and why she has the ability to do such things. And we dive into more side characters in a way that I like quite a bit. I like how they expanded on Benson and Troy's relationship a bit in season 2, kind of, you know, building them up a little bit. And I would hope to see a payoff on that in season 3. Wolf does a lot of growing in this season. Maybe not more than she grew in season 1, but she definitely learns to trust Kipo a lot more and stops doubting her so much. And the last thing that I like about season 2 is that it makes elements of season 1 better, which is always something you want out of a show, right? You want, as things go on, you want parts of the seasons and the shows that call back to other parts of them to get better and better and better. And I think that there's no better way to talk about my point than with Purple Eyed Jaguar. I talked about the song in my first review, and it gets better after you've watched season 2, or at least got far enough in season 2 to know what I'm talking about. I am going to spoil a little bit right here, so skip to this point in the video if you don't want this kind of more plot-based spoiler to happen. Okay, in season 2, Kipo has to travel to her parents' first burrow, where one, she learns all about her identity and who she is and what she is, but she also learns a lot about her mother. And elements of that I'm not going to go into. They're good, and just watch them. I like them a lot. What she's looking for is something that the 3 goats, you'll get to them, I love them, they talk about something called an anchor and tell her that she needs the anchor if she's going to control her Mega Jaguar powers. Because if you go too deep in that form, you can't come back. You've gone so far for the cost of ultimate power that you just can't reverse it, right? Yeah, of course. All ultimate powers can't be reversed, whatever. It's super Naruto-esque how they pull it off in the series as well. And I know very little about Naruto, but I do know about the Ninetales Fox shenanigans. She's going to go look for this anchor, and she finds it in a form of a photo of her mother, and her father, right after she was born. And this is supposed to be a powerful enough emotion to call her back out of the Mega Jaguar form. Well, they end up losing the anchor in the season finale, and she still realizes, I have to go Mega Jaguar if I'm going to save basically everybody. So she does. She goes full-on Mega Jaguar and manages to push over the thing, causing a massive, absolutely crazy problem. And, oh no, no anchor. She's stuck. Well, nope. Nope. Because the anchor was her friends and her father and everyone she met along the way. In every story that has this ultimate power that's supposed to consume you entirely, there's always that one thing that brings you back from beyond the brink, right? And where it was supposed to be this picture and that got lost, turns out, nope, it's her relationship with her friends and her family. It's the people, not a photograph, but the people in the photograph and the new people she's met. That's the real anchor. And yeah, duh, of course it is. But to really expand on what I'm talking about here. Purple Eyed Jaguar lyrics. I don't know why I didn't have this ready before. Oh, purple jaguar eye, open up and be alive. See the world in vivid color. There's no turning back. That's talking about how if you go full Mega Jaguar, there's no coming back from that, right? That's the idea. You're supposed to be stuck in that form, and once you've learned about it and you've utilized it, you're done. But you've got all the love you need, so run sure-footed, newly freed. The main line there is you've got all the love you need. That line right there is talking about how it doesn't matter how deep in that form you go, how much power you have, you've got everyone you need around you that can bring you back from that point, right? You get out of the breaking point. That's fantastic. And then it reinforces that line by saying, so run sure-footed, newly freed. It doesn't matter if you have to use that power. It doesn't matter how deep you go into it, because your friends will always pull you back from it. They'll always just be there to save you from even yourself. That's just one example of Season 2 making elements of Season 1 better. They also do it with Mulholland, who I loved in Season 1, and they made him even better in Season 2. Made him a bit of a heel turn, which I always appreciate. And then we're bringing him back down again. Because, as I said, we don't know that Kipo is having a Season 3. We just don't know that for sure. DreamWorks hasn't announced anything. We haven't gotten any kind of confirmation. There's a few elements that build into this where Rad Seacrest? It's not Seacrest. He's not a Seacrest. There's something for you guys to know. If you want news on the shows that you watch and everything, don't follow the companies that make them. I mean, sure, go ahead. But try and find the creators that make the show, you know, directors, showrunners, etc., and follow them, because they're the ones who will give you immediate news on whether or not their show is continuing on. Rad Seacrest, he's the original creator of Kipo, the webcomic, and was spearheading the show on Netflix. Here's the thing. If you go to his Twitter profile, he is currently producing a feature at DreamWorks. We don't know what that feature is. Is it a Kipo movie? Is it a different movie? We don't know. But he hasn't said anything about it. And if you go down his timeline, he hasn't said anything about continuing Kipo as a Season 3 thing and finishing the show. That's obviously very alarming, because I want the show to end. I want a finale that feels like a finale, and Season 2 did not have that. It was very much a cliffhanger for a bigger plot. I think Season 3 would be the last season of Kipo, but we don't know that for sure. And we haven't seen anything about that as far as the actual show goes. We don't know where it's going. With all that said, I hope that we get a Season 3. I hope that Studio Mir, the animation studio on Kipo, is able to do more with Season 3 as far as the animation goes, bring it back up to at least the quality of Season 1, if not go even bigger with it. And I want to see Science Karen get her just desserts. If you don't know who I'm talking about, watch Season 2. You'll immediately know who I'm talking about whenever I say Science Karen. Thank you everybody for watching. My name's been Cody Hansel. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe here on YouTube. Drop a like. Let me know what other shows you want me to talk about, because I have a lot of shows that I'm watching, and even more that I want to talk about as soon as I can. And yeah, guess what, guys? Owl House is coming back, and you best believe I'm excited for that. Also, Amphibia, which I'm finishing Season 1 of right now. Oh my god, there's so many good shows on right now. I know this whole thing is like really I know this whole virus thing's really pushing back everything, but at the very least, you ain't got to get a film crew together for animation. Nice. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later. Peace.